it gets me because, it's like, it's there for us to, not to take advantage of it, but it's there for us, and it's like, it just gets me how the self-entitlement that there is. That's not how the real world works.
Welcome to the Vet Rides podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing has not been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Vet Rides podcast. This is a special occasion. Because today I actually have somebody on here that was very formative in almost everything that I talked about. Why? Well, because I have my drill instructor on here today. So this is one of the coolest things that I've been able to create from this is the fact that I made a video a long time ago, and he reached out to me. And when I say a long time ago, I mean it like a year and a half ago at this point, but it's just everything this year has felt like such a blur. And he reached out to me and he's like, "That's me in the picture." I'm like, "No way." "Which one?" And I'm like, "What is this, a recruit reaching out to me?" And I couldn't see his profile picture yet. I'm like, "Whoa, shit." And then I saw who it was. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's him in the picture." And he reached out to me and we've been having a conversation. And we finally did have time to actually talk on the phone the other day. And I realized that a lot of the views that I have are very similar to the views that he has. So I just thought, why don't we record a podcast about this? I mean, how cool would that be? So without further ado, I want to introduce Hector to you guys. It's so weird saying that instead of, I'm going to go ahead and please introduce yourself to us, and then we'll just have a conversation and we'll see how it goes today. Sounds good?
Yeah, man, sounds good. So, my name is Hector. Joined the Marine Corps in 1998, and I had the first meeting Juan during my time as a drill instructor off my first cycle, which for drill instructors, blur. You don't really know much, but you just keep ticking away and hoping to God you make it. And like I said, did a 22-year career in the Marine Corps from 3 different infantry units, drill field, small billets here and there, and finally decided to retire in 2020 at the rank of Master Sergeant. And like you said, it only got TikTok because my daughters, and watching these videos, I got those, and it was like a millisecond, and I was like, me right there. That's when I reached out. Where'd you get this picture from?
Yeah.
Well, old man, it ended up being you.
Yeah, it was a millisecond. It was the graduate. Well, yeah, it was a graduation picture. I guess you could call it that. The picture of all of us. I don't know what you'd call it, but we're all there and we're all in the stands, and you cannot tell who's who from the recruits. Our faces are all just like I showed my son the picture the other day, and I'm like, "Can you find Daddy?" He can't find me. I look like every other dark green recruit in there. And yeah, you're in there too. But the thing is, like, you're right. It's a millisecond. So the fact that you were able to see it, and then you reached out to me, I never in my wildest dreams did I think that one of my drill instructors would watch the video or see it or he'd reach out to me. So yeah, 2008. Wow, that's a long time ago. And
yeah, I think it was June, July.
It was August 3rd is when the cycle started, I guess, and graduation day was
October.
Yeah, October. It was at Halloween, I want to say. It was October 31st was Halloween. That was the graduation day, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Crazy.
Yeah. So I remember a conversation we had when during boot camp. You were. It was almost at the end, and we were having. You were asking us questions about what it means to us to become a Marine. We were phase 3. We didn't have our EGAs yet, but there's a rhyme and reason to everything you guys do, I'm sure. And at that point, the conversations weren't normal conversations yet. We didn't have our EGAs yet, but it was much more about the mindset. We were already like almost at the end of phase 3. And I remember you asked what it was. I think it was about JJ Dittai Buckle. And you asked what tact meant. And I think I answered wrong. I had no idea what tact was. And I remember the explanation that you gave me of what it actually meant. And I don't want to butcher it, so I'm not going to try and replicate it, but I want to tell you that the thing that you said to me stuck with me for a long time, and I carried it with me into the fleet, of the fact that understanding that not just how you approach things, but when you approach things and the manner and in tonality, like that is tact. It's not just having tact of how to approach the world, but with people, knowing how to be able to get the end result that you want by approaching things from just different ways, and the words that you use and all of it. So I just want to thank you for that, because I really appreciate it. And yeah. I mean, here we are.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about when you got out, what it was like for you, someone that did such a long time in the military, what things you went through. I just want to learn more about your story.
So, I think it was when when I was in New Jersey on I was going to do my hit my 20-year mark there, and I was ready to call it. I was like, all right, 20 years. I was only supposed to do 4 years, but it was like when I started finding out that I could do different things besides the infantry and could do this and do that, moving around, I was like, there's things I still want to do. So when I was out in Jersey, my 20 years, I was done. I've done what I wanted to do. It's hit every rank. I've hit every billet in the infantry. And so one of my old first sergeants hit me up, who was sitting on the E8 board. And he was just, hey, motherfucker, just, doing that. And I was like, hey. Yeah. And he was just like, why? And I'm just, it's like, I'm done. Throwing in the towel, and as a favor for him, he was just, do me a favor, submit everything that you're missing, submit a picture, give it one more look. And then from there, you decide what you want. So I was, all right, cool. Literally the week after the board, I think the board had already convened, or the board had finished. And the week after the board finished, there I am in Charlie's, go take my picture. I would drive down to Quantico and just like submit everything, take doubles out, on my own PF. And then the following year, I started getting all these texts. Hey, congrats. And I was just like, like typical. And then he hits me up. He's like, what? Oh, kind of had me, with my hands tied behind my back. And so he was like, look, take promotion and do your 24 months. And then, just do me that favor. So I was like, all right. So it turned out that, I asked my kids permission, like, hey, this is what's going on. And my oldest was like, where you go? And so I was like, look, I'll go back to Pendleton, and then I swear to God, I'll retire. So I got to Pendleton. As soon as I checked in, I got promoted to Master Sergeant. As soon as I checked in, I was handing in my check-in sheet. And a week later, I submitted my Appendix J to retire. Some people got mad about that, but I was like, whatever,
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I was 22 years, all right, cool. And so then as I was doing at First Marine Division, as it's like the time started dwindling down, I made friends with, he was the Master of Guns, Mendez, the senior enlisted. And so I got to talking to him. He was retiring about the same time. And so, awesome dude. We were going back to back,
Mm-hmm.
He was over at division schools, and we were just talking about retiring and doing this and doing that. And so as the time started coming down, COVID, the whole thing with COVID. So at not one point was I still worried about, my retirement date's coming. It was supposed to be June of 2020, so I was like, not worried. Everything, well, you saw, you remember how everything was. So he hit me up. Hey, man, because this whole COVID, they're willing to extend retirees, soon to be retired, those EASing all the way till September 31st of the fiscal year. You should do it. It's a couple more paychecks. I was like, why not? It's a couple more paychecks. So extended my date, and like I'd saved a lot of money, throughout my time. So I was like, I'm not worried about getting out, finding a job. Like nowadays, a lot of people are, a lot of Marines are like, oh, I'm EASing on this day. I need to find another career the next day. Wasn't working. If I need to, whatever. But my terminal started, I had like 100 days of terminal. So, do the math. I was out by, I think.
Yeah.
So, I was like, cool. I'm like, go rolling with. So when I was living in Mission Viejo at a condo that I had bought right before I went down to Depot, and my whole thing was I had barely moved back into it, and it was, I'm going to prep it, fix it, do whatever, and sell it, and then buy something better. So on the 100 days of terminal leave that I was at, I think like a month into it, I found myself I get bored easily. So I was just like, all right, so I started going to Home Depot every day, like buying stuff, patching up this wall, doing this, changing the flooring, doing that. And I just happened to look up, dude, and I just saw a sign that says now hiring. I was like, as I was in the aisles, I was applying to Home Depot, and within a week later, they called me for an interview. It was beginning of September. And so she was like, I remember he was like, hey, when can you start? I was like, if anything, I can start after October. I have VA appointments, doctor's appointments that I have to attend. This has to do with, my benefits, my, financial situation, whatever. So, all right. And she called me back September 15th. I was like, hey, can you start tomorrow? And I was like, I could, but I already told you I have,
Yeah.
I started working there. It wasn't bad. At 05 to like 13:30, off on weekends. I was like, cool. And so the good thing about it was only 5-minute drive. And so then, I was there. And at the same time, I was starting to apply for the police department. I didn't say anything.
I've been to that Home Depot in Mission Viejo, so I know exactly what you're talking about. That's crazy.
So, and so at the same time, I was applying for the PD. I didn't say anything to them. I was just like, hey, this is, and so it was, I started for, I think October at one of the departments called me back. Hey, like, we're going to do your interview, come in, did everything. And, by December, told me like, hey, I had the interview with the chief and they hired me. And they were like, all right, get back to you after the new year, put it over there, you do pre-academy, this and that. And so by that time at Home Depot, I guess I made a good name for myself. I was winning all these awards, safety awards. Yeah. There's little I don't know if you ever see a little pat where
ribbons.
Month in there, I already got one,
You already have a stack for Home Depot.
Yeah, I was like, all right, whatever. I guess there it was unheard of for somebody there. And so, by February, I was done. She was even like, oh, so I have to lie for your interview, so I can keep you here so the police will hire you. And I was like, whatever. So, February I started the pre-academy with this department. Everything was going good. It was like a 3-week pre-academy. Literally, you remember what it was like, but, going through your pre-academy, I was just, damn, I'm on the other end now. I'm in a suit getting IT'd like every day. I was just going by myself. And so then, fast forward, I went to the academy. It was like another 3-week pre-academy there. So I was like, all right, cool. And then it was a month. So I ended up hurt. I ended up getting dropped medically. So, one of the things that stuck out that first day of pre-academy at the academy was, I think there was like about 65, 70 of us. There were, all right, who here, has got a degree? Only 5 of us didn't raise our hand. And I'm just sitting there looking around. I was like, I felt like behind the power curve, So I was just like, oh. And I remember hearing that certain departments give you a step up money-wise for having a degree. So I was just like, and the whole 2 months that I was there, it still stuck in my head. I was like, man, all these guys are bachelor's, math. So I was just kind of felt dumb at the moment, I was like, man, I should have taken advantage of doing school when I could, even though that was bare minimum, while being active, even though there are some that, that can do it, it's good on them. But
I tried. It was impossible.
It was impossible. I was like, just sit here and argue with it. Every MOS is different.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, there's people getting PhDs, you know, active duty. It's like power to them. I was like, good on. But yeah, so I got dropped, and you know, the department was in the heat, but I was hurt. I was like, hey, you know, like I'll resign, and you know, I'm gonna take advantage of my benefits, you know. So literally after that, I hit up a school, and you know, that was here in Orange County, and knocked out my bachelor's, and then you know, I thought I was, you know, and the funny thing was that like everybody who knew me was like, yeah, school ain't for him. I was like, I even said that. You know, that's why I joined the Marine Corps. A lot of us, you know, we go for college.
Same.
I had already passed off my benefits to my kids, you know, so I was just like, they can do it. You know, I enjoy it. And then that was that like pre-academy kind of like, man, even though now, you know, you all this stuff like, oh, you don't need to read, school's a scam, you know, and there's certain truths to that. There's so many jobs out there that don't require it. You know, you can make good money, but it was just like the fact that, you know what, I got all these benefits. Why not take advantage? Got my bachelor's. I thought, okay, 4-year bachelor, 4-year degree. I'm done with school. You know, let's go. And then I forgot who I was talking to. They're like, why don't you switch your master's? And I was like, not a bad idea, you know. So I was like, I signed up for a master's program down in San Diego, and now I'm in January, February, I'll be finishing it off, doing my capstone. So, you know, everybody that hears, just getting a master's. Hey, you know,
that is nuts.
But it's been nothing but good. You know, I realized that like if I would have stayed in, I wouldn't have what I have right now. You know, I'm talking about like, you know, you can have a home, you can have this, you can have the cars, but then, you know, you PCS, you know, our monitor was like, our O3 monitor, man, hey, whatever, I'm not going to talk bad about it, but, you know, they go work. How they work. I guess I was just done moving. I was just like, you know, like everything that I have right now, like I probably wouldn't have, but I'm comfortable. I don't have to worry about renting my house out, going East Coast, overseas. You know, like I was able to, you know, like I was always one of the type that never bought myself anything. And so like one of the things that I always wanted was, you know, was a 65 month. I was like, you know, if I would have seen that, I probably wouldn't have that because, you know, I'd be sitting in a garage somewhere not worked on, you know, it's just, but, you know, it's like not one time that I, like, between by the time I retired and now, have I ever sat down and worried about money, worried about medical, granted, yeah, not everybody that, you know, that doesn't retire has those benefits, you know, but it worked out, you know, the only thing that separates me and, you know, for anybody else that did less work, I got a pension and I got my, but everything else, man, it's just having that good, and as long as you don't think negative, you know, anybody can do anything, you know, like, one of the good things, you know, the other benefit is I'm a part of so many like little group chats amongst, you know, like a little bit of that, I'm not trying to sound like, oh, cheating, but a little bit of that helps out, you know, with stuff that we, you know, we all, you know, like catch yourself downside. You send out that, you know, whatever, you know, that little bit helps too as well, you know, throughout the process of us transitioning, you know. But I got a lot of buddies now that are still in and that are about to retire. I was like, look, man, I think the biggest decompression for me, and again, they're just speaking for me, you know, Hector, was, you know what? Go to school. Because you're not going to worry about your next job, your next career, who is going to be on it, where your next, you know, check's going to come from. Because you know what, dude, like, and we talked about this briefly last time, you know, but you get a lot of guys that get out. One, they start freaking out, like, oh, I need to find a job, I need to find a career, and, you know, they start out, and then you get those, they get out, and you, like, that example, they walk out with their arms crossed, and like, You know, where is it that will own me?
All right, let's stop for a minute. This is the part of the episode where I ask you to do me a favor. But it's not a favor for me. It's a favor for your fellow brothers and sisters that served with you. If you know someone that has been struggling, if you know someone that has been going through it right now, and you know that they want better for their life, they just don't know how to do it, please share this episode with them. It might just be exactly what they need. That's it. That's my only ask. If you want to subscribe, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Back to the episode.
Yeah,
I think you have enough thoughts for me to even. I don't have to prompt you, but I feel like you got this. So let's hear it.
Yeah, so like I said, I see it far too often. Like at the end of the freeway on the corner, you get I'm a vet, help me out. But
yep,
I'm like, I don't know if it's just me, but I have a lack of empathy for people. Does that mean I'm gonna turn my back to them? No, I've always been the type to give the shirt off my back. I need this, but I'm not going to feel sorry. Like I said last time, there's all these benefits, not just for retired Marines, but for anybody that did 4 years.
Yeah.
All these benefits that are there, and all you have to do is literally, everybody, has a phone. All you have to do is log to a site, whatever it is, fly. It's like a lot of these dudes think that, like, their phones are going to be ringing. Here's this, come get it. Or, hey, we're going to mail. You got to do the work.
Yep.
For what you rate. Like a lot of guys, I'll do rate, whatever it is that we get the Marine Corps, or whatever branch you're in. Yeah, I find it really hard to feel sorry for those guys that get out and homeless, or, they have no money. It's like, dude, do the same thing that I did. Go online, apply to a school. You know what? You're going to have a check, or however much, wherever you live, BAH check coming at you. I'll tell you right now, man, I'm getting $3,800 for going to school. Just for going to school.
Wow. Just for going to school.
Just for, reading a book, writing papers, and it's not hard. Like I said from the beginning, like you're determined, and like you have that, like you can go far. Another thing too, is like the big stigma was, oh, you're infantry, all you can do is be it. I'm like, I've got countless friends that are like, no shit, doctors, lawyers, I was like, all that can't do attitude. But yeah, it's like with vets, man, like the self-entitled, I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. Me and my friends always talk about it. It was funny. One of my classes, there was a dude, old dude, like 70s, I think. I was like, man, I didn't know that GI Bill went all the way to Vietnam. I thought that was an expiration date. It turned out that he came into the Navy in '67, got out, I don't know how many years later, and then the Navy called him back, and he just retired in 2015.
Oh, shit.
Field, dude. And I'm like, I'm not going to say his name. Holy.
Yeah,
we got
amazing.
We got on this topic about, like, vets and homeless, and he was he's probably like 5 foot tall. Got on this kid on the board. What have you been doing? That was stuff like that. Sometimes I want to like shake him, like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So much they do, so much things that can benefit from, and you're not taking advantage of it. Because you got idle vet. You think that people are just going to open doors for you, and you got to put in the work. It's not as much you did when you were, like, it's like, as much as knocking on the door, like, hey, where can I benefit your company, or, I got a lot of that company, or whatever it is, you want to flip a burger, whatever it is, like, I mean, Christ, dude, fast food places are paying $20 an hour now.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's like that. Just like it gets me because it's like it's there for us to not to take advantage of it, but it's there for us, and it's like, it just gets me how, like the self-entitlement that there is.
Yeah.
I could get into argument. Oh no, it is. You sit back long enough, self-entitlement. You deserve it more than anybody else. You're just sitting there waiting for people to talk. That's not how the real world works.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, yeah, man, that's like, and then when I see you, former recruit of mine, or my old Lance Corporal, or and I see them actually like doing it, dude, I'm like, dude, every now and then it's funny because I always post this meme, it's something about, I can't remember who it was on, but it was your homies doing it and it's smiling. True, man, like it's like, feel good seeing dudes doing it. It's like there goes a dude that didn't sit away from stuff on the lap. Yeah, self-entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do a little bit of work. It's like nothing in life is free. It can be, but even if it is free, dude, you gotta like, hey, you gotta ask for it. And I think it's like what it is, like, the whole thing, with mental health, dude, it's like all there. Everybody talks about the VA, what a bad experience it is. This and that. I have yet in 4 years that I have yet to have one bad experience. And
Good.
again,
I'm happy to hear that.
And again, it's because go out on their chest and back in bed and need that, but not the way it works, man. Like you gotta have some hospitality. Heck,
Yes.
You just go in. Hey, like anybody else, who's gonna blow you off. Like, okay, dude, go. We'll put your file at the bottom.
Yeah, it's true. It's just like anywhere else.
It is. It's no than anything else. And,
yeah,
man, that's just like till now, man. That was off, but it's like gotta let it go. If you need help, man, here's a couple bucks. Here's a shirt, whatever. And I do that constantly, but I'm not gonna feel because it's there. If I'm doing it, you're doing it. Everybody else is doing it. You can do it too. It's just being lazy.
I want to add to that real quick. So I have the same mentality, and I'm with you on it. And honestly, I'm sure you feel this way too, possibly. But I just think it's the fact that I believe in them. I think it's the fact that I know that they can, because they've done something before. They've done something hard. They went through some sort of boot camp, whatever it was. They've had to understand at some point what it means to do the hard work, right? And like, you get out, excuse me, whether it's 4 years or 20 years or 28 years, not 29 years or 30 years, like you have to understand. Life is life. It's translates into the way it was in the military. You didn't just go to your unit and get promoted or end up in a leadership position, right? And at the end of the day, like you understand the basics of it. So like it's that I believe in you so much that I know you can do it. And to touch on the VA thing, it's just like anywhere else. If you go there and you're an asshole, guess what they're going to treat you like? An asshole. So like you have to understand, nothing is owed to you. There's these benefits that you have access to. That if you go out of your way, because you have to go out of your way, and to touch on that, I have an appointment on Monday. The VA has emailed me, called me, sent me letters in the mail, all these different things. They sent me a calendar invite. I'm not going to miss my appointment, but so many people miss their appointment, and they say, I can't get into the VA. I made an appointment. They gave me access to an appointment. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be a nice freaking guy because you have to advocate for yourself. And advocating for yourself isn't just pounding on your chest saying, I deserve this, I need this, blah, blah, blah. It's about being able to explain what you're trying to get to and also being a nice guy. Like, people think that being a nice guy is weakness. It's not. It's using tact. It's making sure that you can get to your end goal by using the right type of words, by using people's names, by showing up on time and even early, making sure that you're paying attention to your email. Like, people, I think a lot of it comes from past generations of military veterans having bad experiences because of maybe even experiences that they've created and just using that and telling the story about it. And then too many people just buy into that. I think people are fucking this is gonna bite me in the ass, whatever. I think people are fucking lazy where they'll find the easiest thing for them to like, oh, say, well, this is true. So if one person tells them, oh, the VA is fucked up, they'll just use that to make the reason of why they're not going to follow through with their shit. Oh, well, I heard that the VA is all fucked up right now.
I'm not going to go. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go. Like, nah. I talked to a veteran the other day, and he hasn't set foot in the VA, and he's been out for 3 years, infantry guy. He's like, well, I've been too busy. I'm like, you have to understand, my man, you are literally putting yourself in a position. You're about to have another child, and right now you're telling me that you won't step foot in the VA because you heard someone say that the VA is too busy. I told him, I'm like, make an appointment right now. Like, you are doing this to yourself, my man. And he realized it, and he made an appointment. I hope he follows through with it. But all it takes is like the fact that you have to understand that it is not the ugly world that you have allowed yourself to believe it is. There's a lot of ugliness out here. Trust me, we all know this. But the thing is, like, if you look for the good shit in life, if you look for the opportunities, if you put yourself in situations because of who you know you can be, that is when the world opens up to you, in my opinion. And by the way, I see that 1025 hanging above your head right there. That was the platoon.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got 21. Those were both my honor platoons.
Yeah, we took everything. I remember. Yeah, we took everything. We took. I don't remember all of them now, but we took drill. I was the prac recruit. I did all the yelling for all the knowledge.
No, you know what was funny, dude? Like one thing that got me one time, dude. I started rolling, man. I had gone somewhere, dude. I was just running around everywhere, and then I was. I think you guys were. So I don't remember what. I remember I was running in, and I ran into the duty hut, and I hit like somebody was on the other side, and I remember hitting them, and I was like, oh shit, my cover went up. And it was, remember Stoddard, the senior?
Yeah.
I saw he was in there, and he was like, hey man, just give me a minute. And he had the guide and squad leaders in there, and he was giving them power bars, and I was like, oh okay. Then he fucked them up. I was like, all right. So I remember, like, yeah, that's why we took PFT, man, because it was just like get everybody running around like it wasn't until like after the fact, like that being a new hat, man, it was just like all new to me, not how I was doing, but it was like, hey, do this, I got to them, or do this. I was like, all right. There was a reason behind everything that he was doing, giving bars here and there. I don't know if he gave you guys, everybody, like towards the end, because he was like, I guess like he was emailing, the parents can email, hey,
yeah.
Hey, send power bars, send this, and I was like,
yeah.
And
we got a few power bars.
Yeah.
I remember running into him to see. I think he went. I want to say 1-4, and I went to 3-1. And I remember running into him at the Piats at SOI. And I was like, I almost went to attention. That was crazy. Yeah, I remember running into him. And have you watched any of the episodes on Vet TV?
I've seen some of them.
They have a new one where it is like it's I think it's called Drill, where it's former drill instructors playing drill instructors, and you get to see a little bit of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a rhyme or reason to everything, right? And like as recruits, we don't know what the hell's going on, but the more you understand it. I remember a moment that I remember that will always stick with me, that has been instrumental in my life, is drill instructor Sergeant Clark came in. Well, he was a sergeant at the time, and he told Sergeant Alvarez that we had taken final drill. And I think that meant that we swept everything. We took every single award, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe. And it was third phase. And we started celebrating. And senior drill instructor Staff Sergeant Stewart at the time, he said, we don't have fucking cheerleaders here, and he destroyed us. He destroyed us. Phase 3, we were getting destroyed like it was phase 1. And it just reminded me of the fact that you can be proud of yourself without making an ass of yourself. And that was a real instrumental moment for me in my life. So yeah, a lot of memories.
Yeah, dude. One of the times, still cringe to this day, man. We had to take them to Padres game. I was like,
oh man.
I think I still remember my guide. I remember his face, man. I was like, walked out to the bleachers just to make sure that everybody was doing what they were doing. I mean, keep in mind, they're already Marines.
Yeah.
And then I'm walking back to the tunnel, like, to the backside. See this fucker, man. It's like hot dog. And I was just like, gave him this look, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, I got him that night. That's a like little things, man. Just seeing kids smiling, dude. I don't know. It just got me. I was just like,
but that's the thing, though. Like that's necessary. Then I agree with it 1,000%. That is necessary. Then you're building, and I say this a lot. Like the military builds war fighters, like point blank, right? The military does not build civilians. When you get out, there is resources, there is tools, there is experienced people out here. There's a lot of things for us to help us build ourselves as civilians. But like there's no branch that builds civilians. That is on you. And I really believe that every individual has it in them to understand that it is their responsibility, it is their duty to get out of the military. And you made a decision to get out. You made the decision to separate. For most people, I know that there's other situations. I understand that. But you made a decision to get out. So therefore, like, you have to take it on you to go through the TAPS classes and get the most out of it. You have to get out. You have to build your resume. You have to go on all these thousands of websites. And I do mean thousands of different websites that have benefits and help and workshops and guidance programs and career transition things for veterans. But it has to be on you. Like the same way that in the military, people explain stuff to you and you still have to do the extra work to go above and beyond and get recognized. It's the same in the civilian world. All right?
Yep. You have to do the work, man. It isn't as boring as it sounds, but you anybody can do it. Like I said earlier, you put in the work. Any Marine, I'm only going to talk infantry-wise. That's all it's like, but if you put in the work in the infantry, you make team leader. You did squad leader. You did this. You go to Afghanistan. You go to Iraq, and you kick in the door. You were good at it, or you're whatever it is, dude. It's like that's like junior high compared to
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's there's laziness, dude. I can't. I mean, hell, I even get kids. I just right now, man. It's like 12:30, and my kids, both of them are in bed. I'm like, "What are you doing? Get up, do something." Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to what one always lived off of. Dude, I remember who told me, like, you know what? If you want to do good in life and you want to be a good dude, because your presence and your first time appearance, it'll take you places. It can get you ahead. Just be a good dude. A lot of people just those that aren't. But
well, listen, man. I think we want to end on that just because I actually want to have you back on maybe in a couple of months and talk about some different things, because I know we could go on for hours, but I want to wrap up on this point. So I'm going to ask you, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give to anyone out here listening that maybe did a long time in the military and now they're out and now they're trying to create a life for themselves, right? Or even for anyone that even if you did 4 years, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give someone?
Dude, honestly, man, I said, you're a good dude. People will recognize you. Like, you want something, literally, you go after it.
Yeah.
You can't think like you were saying. When people hear the VA horror stories of the VA, I'm not going to do it. Like, you got to be proactive. You got to, you got to go after it. Don't expect things to be just given to you because finger a lot of times. Sad to say. I hate to go off on this tangent, but the whole thank you for your service. Sometimes I take it as just checking a box for people. That, I told them thank you for your service, whatever. But the only people that actually give a fuck about what we did is our family and friends. And there are a few that are advocates, but far from it. But the whole, it's like, it's like, be a good dude, man, and don't be afraid to try something.
Yeah,
we did again. We did 422. We did a job that a lot of people wouldn't or don't have the balls to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it, and it's like I think you're already we're already ahead of the power curve once we get out. Minus, those that have college degrees, but I mean, that's even something that we can, once one, and, some people have, degree and you might not have one, but it's not hard to get one. And, they'll just excel you even higher than.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, I think overall, dude, just be a good dude.
Yeah. I like that. That's good advice.
That'll take you a long ways.
Yeah.
It helped me out, Yeah. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I appreciate you, and I definitely want to have you back on, and we have a lot more stories and stuff to talk about. But that's going to be it for today. Everybody that joined, thank you guys so much. And I will be posting all of his information in the comment section below, so you guys can check him out. And we'll get him back on soon. So, again, thank you, Hector. I appreciate it. And, that's it. Thank you very much, brother.
All right, man. You too. Thanks.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of the Vet Rise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join our mission, follow my socials at JP the Veteran Coach and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget that we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.